This week on The Travel Detective, it's one of 32 states in Mexico, possibly best known for mariachi music or tequila. But we're just getting started. I'm going to share with you some of my hidden gems of Jalisco. That's our cover story. Plus, a study that you really need to hear about. I'll tell you which global cities are the noisiest. And then, as the cruise industry slowly recovers, hear from the major ports in Europe on what they're doing to adjust to improve safety protocol. I'm Peter Greenberg. All that and more on this edition of The Travel Detective. Jalisco is a western Mexican state that stretches all the way to the Pacific Ocean. It also encompasses the resort town of Puerto Vallarta. But if you head about 4 hours to the east, you'll find the legendary town of Tequila. As its name implies, this is where tequila comes from, and they take that name seriously, like the French do for champagne. It's not just a drink, it's the location where they make it, and the source of the raw ingredients. And just like the French laws with champagne, to be called tequila, it legally has to come from right here. Even on the outskirts of town in the sloping hills, you'll see why. They're blue agave plants, and as far as the eye can see, because of the perfect year-round climate and rich soil from the Tequila volcano. These are the fields of Jose Cuervo. You can visit the fields on your own, but it's much better to go with a jimador, the folks who know the art of harvesting the plant. Someone like Antonio Gonzalez Magallanes, a third-generation jimador.
Empecé a los 7 años de edad a jimar. Tengo 40 años, quiere decir que tengo 33 años jimando.
Aquí.
En Cuervo.
Wow. His grandfather taught his father. His father taught Antonio. And now Antonio was teaching me. It starts with a surprisingly precise approach to cut down the super sharp leaves. And believe me, they're sharp, using an ever sharper machete. Oh, what am I doing? I'm just doing this? Oh.
A gallo. Si hacemos barbeos, crece la penca y el agave queda pequeño. Y ocupamos es bola.
Boy, this takes no prisoners. Then Antonio used a spade-like tool called a coa de jima to clean out the lower branches and eventually reach the pineapple, or the piña. This is the heart of the plant. That's the base for making tequila. Listo?
Listo.
Oh, wait. Listo. The piñas are then put into a furnace to cook, then shredded, fermented, distilled, and aged. And that's what becomes tequila. The real stories of tequila can be found in town. Most visitors just go to the tasting rooms of the various tequila makers. But you really need to start in the back rooms. There's real history here, isn't there?
There's real history. The oldest distillery in the world.
Right here.
Yes, right this one.
Since when?
1758.
Araceli Ramos has been working at Jose Cuervo almost all her adult life. She knows the process, and she also, not surprisingly, knows the product. I will drink no tequila before it's time. It's ready.
Well, then let's bottle it.
We put the finishing touches on it, a wax seal and a label that shows their stamp. And in this case, my literal stamp of
Bingo.
approval.
Ta-da!
Beautiful.
All right.
Now we have it.
Now we have it, and now I have it. Bye.
Bye.
Guadalajara, Guadalajara.
But you can't drink in a vacuum. Legend has it that Jalisco is the origin of the mariachis, dating back to the 19th century. What began as regional rural folk music then expanded into the city as farm workers took their favorite brand of music with them when they moved. Mariachis used to be an all-male tradition, and it's mostly still that way today, but it's changing. Check out this all-female group called Innovación Mexicana. They play all over Jalisco, and often on the streets of the capital city of Guadalajara, about an hour's drive from Tequila. It's a great way to be introduced to Guadalajara. When you first enter the city, you're greeted by the statue of the Roman goddess Minerva, who guards the city. but try to get there on a Sunday when the streets are closed to traffic. The heart of the historic downtown area is an endless array of pedestrian-friendly plazas, gazebos, statues, monuments, fountains, churches, locally made sculptures, and stunning buildings like the Cathedral de Guadalajara, the center of religious life. Soon you'll come to one of the real hidden gems here, called Hospicio Cabañas. It was originally built as an orphanage back in 1791. It's now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. But the gem is found inside to see the frescoes of José Clemente Orozco, one of Mexico's most famous artists. This is a rare treat. Professional photography is almost never allowed, but it's something you really must see in person to appreciate. A few miles outside the city center is a municipality called Tlaquepaque. It's an indigenous word that literally means place above clay land. And it's because of this rich clay that the tradition of pottery crafts and ceramic arts that started in pre-Spanish times continues today at Paco Padilla's workshop and gallery. But you don't just come here to browse and buy. You come here to get your hands dirty.
Entonces traten de hacerlo los más parejitos que se puedan.
When the people comes to my workshop, we need to teach the people how hard it is to make a pot.
Paco has been doing that all his life, and all in this same workshop, Tlaquepaque's oldest, started by his parents more than 70 years ago. They create everything from artisanal pieces for exhibitions to handmade pottery for restaurants.
The clay is in my blood because I was born here and my parents teach us is to make always something different.
Alfarero, alfarerito, te estás hundiendo solito, tu familia quiere pan.
Today, Paco may be more well known for his singing and songwriting than for his pottery, having performed his music throughout the world.
Corazón.
Another tradition whose roots are also in Jalisco is the charreada, a kind of Mexican rodeo that celebrates the culture of the horse and is officially recognized as the national sport and a way of life in Guadalajara. The horse in Mexico has a great historic, almost mythical place. And if you're looking for charros, first you'll need to find this nondescript alley in the city, then turn left. And when you get down that alley, that's where you'll find the arena for the Charros de Jalisco. This is a 12-time national championship team, celebrating their 100th year. They do many performances and exhibitions in this arena.
Hasta ahí, Jorge, hasta ahí.
But if you show up midweek when they're practicing, and if you ask, you could end up in a training session, fully dressed as a traditional Mexican cowboy.
Mi amigo Peter, how are you?
I'm okay, I think.
Welcome, you looks great.
This is as good as it gets.
That's exactly the idea.
Chuy Mora is one of the champion riders of Charros de Jalisco. And along with his incredible skills on a horse, he has tons of patience, at least with this visitor.
If you want to be charro, the first tool that you must to manage is this one.
Okay.
Okay? Well, let me give you the first lesson. It's very easy and it helps us to catch the cows. To use something like this, okay? And when the cow's coming, you must to make easily this way, yes? And do this, you see? I know that you come from a ranch in the United States, right?
No.
New York. It's not
So he made me the cow to show how easy it is. Then it was my turn to rope.
Almost.
After several attempts, it seems my lasso skills needed some work. To get inspired, we stayed safely outside the ring to watch how the pros do it. Then, to prove that I could actually outdo myself in the embarrassment category, I tried it on horseback myself. And if at first you don't succeed, try not to fall off the horse. And then, try again, and again, and again. Perhaps the fourth time would be the charm.
Yeah, baby! Woo!
Yes!
Eso, charro! Bien. Amy, congratulations. Man.
All right. Pedrito!
Ya eres charro, Pedro.
Charro Pedro?
Charro Pedro.
Charro Pedro.
Don Pedro.
Don Pedro.
Yes. Don
Ooh.
is like a member of respect in the community.
So
Don.
wait a minute, do you respect me now?
Yes, sir. You did a
I'm gonna
good
do-
job. Congratulations.
He respects me.
Yes.
Okay. If you're trying to avoid crowds, you might think you should skip Puerto Vallarta, where 50% of the city's economy is tourism-based. But there are great hidden gems away from the crowds, if you know where to look. Like Casa Kimberly, a hotel that is part of the story that put Puerto Vallarta on the map in the first place. General Manager Juanito Gutierrez knows the story. So the history is still very much within this place.
They were living here, Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor, when Richard was filming The Night of Day One.
No, they weren't just living here, they were loving here.
They were having the affair here.
And the romantic vibes are still here?
That was the bedroom.
Puerto Vallarta was not well known in America in 1963, when Richard Burton brought Elizabeth Taylor here during the filming of Night of the Iguana. The two were married, only not to each other. So to maintain appearances, they stayed in houses across the street from each other. Then, Burton actually had a bridge built, connecting them.
The news got out and the paparazzis came. The world discovered Puerto Vallarta because of Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor love.
The two houses later became the Casa Kimberly, a perfect hotel for lovers looking for their own Puerto Vallarta getaway. In Puerto Vallarta, the true sanctuary means you head south of the city to the Vallarta Botanical Gardens. This preserve spans 70 acres and is home to thousands of plants, with numerous trails to explore them. And if you really like the gardens, you can even get married in the chapel. But here, as manager Marcos Mendoza told me, it's more about protecting the native plants. So what makes this place so special?
Well, we're considered one of the best botanical gardens in North America.
Why?
Because our program of conservation of Mexican orchids. Because unfortunately, people in the area, they came and steal the orchids and sell it. And,
But not anymore.
Not anymore, because we protect them here inside the garden, and also we reproduce it in our biolab.
The gardens focus on growing endangered species of orchids in its biolab, raising them in a controlled environment until they're ready to be moved outdoors. Each of these jars will produce just one orchid, and it currently has 47 different varieties growing in the lab. And the cacao fruit? You've got to know when they're ready for picking.
In the moment that they turn from green to yellow, we can
That's
cut
when you
them.
pick them, okay.
Like this one, down.
And if you ask, you don't just get to look, you get to eat. Wow.
And this, look. It's sweet.
It is sweet.
Really sweet.
Just a small part of the hidden gems of Jalisco. The research is already available to help us determine where we want to travel or don't want to travel based on air pollution. But what about noise pollution? According to the World Health Organization, excessive noise associated with cities can significantly harm us. A recent study analyzed 50 world cities based on noise pollution and hearing loss. The worst city? Guangzhou in China. It qualifies as the world's noisiest city, and residents there suffer from serious hearing loss. The second worst? Delhi. The average person living there has the hearing of someone 19 years older. Third place? Cairo. Los Angeles comes in at 18th worst, and New York is number 32.
I think that's an interesting thing.
This one piece will make 52 layers.
Watch on mobile devices or the big screen. All for free. No subscription required.
The cruise industry was growing at a record pace, both in terms of passengers and new ships. And then the pandemic hit. Everything came to a screeching halt. So what are the ports around the world doing with new designs, guidelines, and protocols? I checked in with a few key port directors in the Mediterranean. Tommaso Cognolato, the CEO and General Manager of Terminal Napoli in Italy. Minas Papadakis, the CEO of Heraklion Port Authority in Greece. And Ivan Mifsud, the Managing Director of Mifsud Brothers Limited in Malta.
Sustainability had a different definition before the pandemic. Now you have all the other items involved. You have health and safety, disinfectant, change of design, change of protocols, different boarding procedures, different disembarking procedures. So from a port management point of view, how are you working with the cruise lines to make that work and get ready for this?
We were running tests with our employees and with our partners just to check out what could be the flow of the passengers, the testing area, what we had to do if we found someone which was positive, trying to figure out how to separate the flows coming out from the vessel or going into the vessel, and trying to match all the things that we usually do in the best ways possible, maintaining the distances between one person and the other, so avoiding gatherings, and trying to figure out all the measures that we have to put in place in case of one case positive, two case positives, or something else.
Training and the certification of all personnel that is involved, both in ports and in the ship. Then we had to put protective plexiglass at the info points. We had to take measures about how to keep the social distancing, 1.5 meters each one, and we have the right signage everywhere. We had to develop an isolation area in the case of infected or suspected COVID-19 people. We had to build a corridor through which the passengers were passing before embarkation in order to have a contactless temperature measurement. We had to develop different flows for passengers and crew and personnel members, so as to make easier identification, and to develop a very careful sanitation plan.
The port in Malta hosted its first passengers during the pandemic in the late summer of 2020. It involved 58 guests from Germany. Ivan says he went out of his way to make sure everyone felt safe.
I must say, having been used to checking in about 1,600 people every week for 6 months, this was so different in so many ways. We had to, first of all, respect all the protocols that were given to us by the principal. Just to give you a little idea of what I'm talking about, and these are the protocols of the principal. Then we had the protocols of the port, again, a big volume. We have our own protocols, and our protocols also factor in the protocols of the sites and venues that we visit. I had people dressed up with special uniforms, with a Feel Safe logo, cleaning absolutely everywhere that was touched by people. We followed, again, the protocols as in on the coaches. We had just 15 guests in all, and we zigzagged them on the coach, spacing them out, and also they had to keep the same place on the return. The coaches were fumigated before use and again afterwards. Everyone was wearing masks, sanitization before boarding and when they come off, and then back when they get on board.
Ivan reports that shore excursions had to be reimagined during the pandemic. It was literally back to the drawing board.
we literally took a clean canvas and redesigned all our tours, all based on this bubble concept. I think it's time that we in the shore excursion or ground handling business do things differently. I think also the cruise lines need to do that. The days of having 40, 45 people on a coach may be coming to an end. And I think people nowadays love to do their own thing. They want to feel that they're exploring. I think that's definitely the way forward.
Ports also had to make physical changes to their infrastructure to allow for proper social distancing within their facilities.
What we have to do is to create a separate flow of access to the terminal, to divide all the people. We had to dedicate specific halls, area, or rooms to embarking procedure and to disembarking procedures, just to avoid that the people that are embarking can mix with excursions or other passengers or other people that do not have to go on the board, on the vessel. And so the most important thing is that we had to find and dedicate isolated rooms for specific operations and divide the flows of the passengers and the people inside and outside of the terminal.
When all is said and done, when you talk to your constituents, when you talk to your mayor, when you talk to your ministers, what message are you giving them as Heraklion being an example for others to follow?
Well, the message is that we can do it. People can travel with safety, as I said, for everybody. Passengers, local community, crew members. We can do it.
The next time you walk into a hotel lobby, take a sniff. Chances are you'll notice a distinctive smell. That's right, a distinctive scent that the hotel is putting in its air conditioning system in hotel lobbies and public rooms. Welcome to the brave new art of the psychology of the hotel smell. In 2004, a pair of scientists won a Nobel Prize for their work proving that the brain can differentiate between 10,000 scents. But more important, that we also create a connection between scents and memory. And our sense of smell is not only connected to the area of the brain that processes memories, but also to where we process emotion. So it was only a matter of time before hotels would use scents as a marketing tool. Hotel smells have become an extension of their brand, an olfactory logo. And this is both an art and a science. Hotels use scents to tell a story, and the smell becomes part of the personality of the hotel. Much like the architecture, the furniture, these smells are then carefully curated to create a specific atmosphere. At the Modern Hotel in Honolulu, you'll find an exotic scent that combines tropical notes: plumeria, green mango, orange, mahogany, musk, and star jasmine. While a big city hotel, like the Meridian in New York, scents their property with a combination of deep, woodsy notes, fir balsam and cassis, for a more sophisticated vibe. The St. Regis created a scent inspired by Carolyn Astor, whose family founded the original hotel. The hotel's scent is meant to evoke the smells that drifted through her mansion during her opulent Gilded Age parties: exotic hardwood, champagne, roses, palm, and apple blossoms. Of course, in country or mountain locations, you'll find hotels that try to smell like pine trees, forests, and wildflowers, like the Omni Mount Washington in New Hampshire, whose lobby smells like local herbs and greens, nettle, candy tuft, and rosemary. Even budget hotels and motels have created signature scents that are designed to imbue a sense of comfort. Holiday Inn's signature scent is a feel-good blend of citrus, green tea, herbs, and sweetgrass. All of these smells create a subtle but noticeable link between the destination, your experience, and it's all intentional. Forgetting the science of it all, or the meaning of it all, there's the smell itself. So how do you pick a hotel these days? Well, you must like the hotel, maybe the brand, you're staying for the points. But now there's another dimension. Let's just hope you'll like the smell. That'll do it for this week. I'll see you next time on another edition of The Travel Detective.